All right, thank you for joining us today. Today we have Corissa Grant with us today, and we're going to talk about her Worthy Chaos series that she's got out. And by the way, from our messages on Facebook, 30 single issues and five hardcovers in 3 years. Whoa, when do you find time to sleep?
I don't sleep.
Like
Um,
clearly, because 30 single issues on top of five, well, you said three, two to be printed hardcovers in 3 years.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
an achievement in its own.
yeah. So the story was already written, most of the story, not the Western, but our Worthy Chaos Redemption, which is live February, um, which should be live now when this is posted.
Hmm.
Um, it that one was written. So there's a long series. So Redemption itself is 23 issues. And a lot of people worry when they back Kickstarters because they don't know if they're actually going to get all of the issues.
Yeah.
So issue 16 is live now at this recording. And issue 23, the last issue in Redemption, is already done. So it's already
Okay.
we're 8 issues ahead. Um, and the next series is Conviction, and that's 25 issues already written. And my artist is going to start drawing that after he finishes the prequel.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot. There's a lot written.
Wow.
Um, yeah. And even after, if I'm not 80 by the time it's released, after Conviction, I have another series called Resurrection. And that's actually 40. Like I didn't know it was so many issues. I looked it up yesterday. It's 40 issues already written.
Wow.
So
So you're like world building at this point.
yeah. And then there's the Western. The Western is 20 issues already written. So uh,
Wow.
yeah, we're not as far ahead on that one. So what the reason why we're so far ahead in Redemption is when we first started, I had never worked in comics and this artist had never worked in comics. And I originally paid another artist to do it 5 grand and had to throw it away because he abandoned it. I tried to fix it with other artists, but it didn't work. So I hired him to do it again.
Hmm.
So when he first started, it was like issue 3 years, like, oh, I quit my job. And I was like, shh. Okay, no pressure there. So I didn't want him to find another job. So I was supporting him. He made one whole issue a month. So even though I couldn't put him
Wow.
on Kickstarter that fast, I would just like keep going. So he just worked nonstop because I kept telling myself he's going to be popular eventually, and then we could be like set back. So finally, like I think 6 months ago, the beginning, I think it's sometime in the beginning of last year, he started to get a lot more work. So it actually paid off. So we're 8 issues ahead. And I finished Redemption. I'm super excited. It's getting colored and lettered right now. So that was my dream. I actually talked to a publisher
Uh-huh.
before I started, and they told me, more than one, told me that it's too long and no one would buy it. Like they only take 3 issue max.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would you do that? People love the story. They want more. Like
Yeah.
I have very loyal readers. I'm very lucky. And they always like, oh, I hope you have a lot. I was like, oh, I have more than, than you can stand. Um, so like I was like, so they said, yeah, nobody reads after 3 issues. And I was like, then you have the wrong stories. Look at
Yeah.
Marvel, look at DC. I'm not saying I'm as good as Marvel as DC, though sometimes
But
I think
still,
they do
like
better
their stories go for like,
ever. Yeah.
yeah,
And they got like 15 series each character. I was like,
yeah, and that's
whatever.
without the fillers too, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I had actually written to him as soon as issue 23 was done. I had written to one of them and I was like, just so you know, you told me I'd never finish it. Well, issue 23 is done.
Wow.
So he's like, oh, I hope I didn't discourage you. I was like, no, quite the opposite. So,
Yeah.
but I get told all the time, like, what if they don't sell? And I made them for me. So
Yeah.
technically, I was gonna make them anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, but people buying them helps.
Oh,
It's,
absolutely.
it's like,
Especially the money you have to put in to make,
oh yeah, oh
especially
credit card debt
23
galore.
issues.
Yeah, yeah, 20. Yeah. See, I'm always like, oh, I'm so in debt. I was like, wait, but I still have like 8 or 9 to sell. It's
Yeah.
just sitting there done. Um, and I get all the time on, oh, I'm so jealous. Like I have creators saying all the time, oh, I'm so jealous. It's like, dude, if you want to go in debt, you can do this too. Like it's not that hard.
Yeah. I mean, wow, I thought I had a lot. I got like five different projects, but you nowhere near. Not even
Yeah, there's a lot.
combined. 23 issues.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
It's a little crazy. This story was written as 16 novels. I write the story with my co-writer who,
Yeah.
so the two main characters are written by we each have our own character. So like I write the story and Serafina,
Hmm.
and Jess writes all of Draven, the male
Okay.
character. So we did this while role playing. So this wasn't intended to be a comic book.
Yeah.
I was saving the replies, and like I think by the time I was like think we're at book 7 where I'm like, maybe we could do something like, really like this.
Hmm.
Now, I'm dyslexic and I'm a horrible writer, but I am an amazing storyteller. So it went perfect with comic books. Like,
Oh yeah.
I never believed that I would write for comic books. It was not in the cards. So it was just one of those things where I was like, I forgot. I think I said I was going to print them out, the writing. I was going to print it out, and I was looking for an artist to do the cover. And they were kind of cartoony. So I said to my co-writer, I was like, do you care if it's cartoony or do you want realistic? And Jess is like, oh no, cartoony's fine. So I was like, well, if you don't mind cartoony, we could
Yeah,
try
comic book
and then I
route.
said the most stupidest words ever. How hard can it be? Like it is
Ah.
like the hardest thing ever. Um,
Sure
so
is.
yeah, but I really like it. I mean, they're all connected.
Hmm.
So Redemption is the one that's live, and that's Supernatural meets Buffy in
Yeah.
Silent Hill in the world of Resident Evil. So it's kind of like all
All
together.
right. That sounds
Um,
great.
yeah, it's kind
That
of like
sounds amazing.
it's a survival art action adventure horror thing. And it's kind of like the video games.
Hmm.
So I originally started this because I wrote Resident Evil 2 fan fiction.
Okay.
And it kind of snowballed into this giant world,
Hmm. Yeah.
And I remember people used to say, "Oh, you should release it." And I was like, "I can't, it's licensed." It took 15 minutes. I changed like 4 names, and he was like, "Oh, it's good. Good to
Yeah.
go."
I
So,
think you could release it. I mean, not for sale, but
yeah.
you can put it up, where people like WhatsApp or something like that,
Yeah.
where people could read fan fiction,
Yeah.
and even just that, it'll gain, followers just off reading.
Yeah.
My daughter put me onto WhatsApp because when she was young, she would be writing fan fiction all the time, and then she's like, "Dad, why don't you use WhatsApp?" I'm like, "What's that?" And then I was like,
What's app?
"Oh."
Like what? What's
I
WhatsApp?
was
Yeah,
like,
I don't
"Oh, okay,
know.
all right." But that's what's up though. That's what's up though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, besides the projects, we're gonna get into that. I just, want to get into a little bit about who you are, especially as a creator. So, introduce yourself a little more and, let the world know who you
Yeah.
are and why we're here today.
So, my name's Corissa Grant, and I'm
Hmm.
the writer and creator of the Worthy Chaos Chronicles.
Hmm.
And I'm a huge rambler, and you can tell. And you can also tell which character I write because the character that I write talks nonstop and barely thinks, and my co-writer, the character barely talks and only thinks. So it's like you have these two main characters. And deep down, it's like a dark romance. She's an
Yeah,
angel descendant, he's a demon descendant. Um, but like you get this bond with these characters because when I started writing this with my co-writer, we didn't know each other. And
yeah.
I had this story idea for I think at that point like 11 years, like
Hmm.
10 years, I would say I had this story idea. And I was writing with a lot of amazing writers, role players and stuff, but I could not find one that like I just wasn't right. Like I love them for what they were writing, but it wasn't perfect. I wrote with Jess one time, like
And that's
one
it.
reply, and I was like,
Click.
please take this role. And Jess is like, I don't take roles, but yes. And that was it. I sent like so I don't know if you know how role playing works. It's not like D&D.
Hmm.
So what happens is I write a chapter in the point of view of my character.
Hmm.
And then I would send it to Jess, and Jess would then write it in the point of view of Draven.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that way, like my character will say things, and I won't get an answer until I get the reply. So they kind of
Yeah.
like back and forth. So it got bigger and bigger replies. It started with like, small paragraphs, and now I think I could sit down and write like 3 to 6,000 words at a time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I could write really fast. And Jess is a way better writer than me.
Hmm.
She would never admit that. But she is. I'm a better story. I'm a great storyteller. And she even says, "Where the hell did these ideas come from?" I have no idea. Like I have no idea. I always joke that have you ever seen Supernatural?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. I always joke that I'm like Chuck, like I'm just a prophet and like I just have these characters. Because I've actually had like a fight with my character during writing. Like I'll be like, this chapter makes no sense. Like I
Yeah.
don't know what's happening. I don't know why you're in this room doing this. And my character be like, just keep writing. And I was like, nope, nope. I have to start over. And then by the end of it, I was like, well, that was actually kind of cool. And I sent it to Jess, and I was like, she's like, where the hell did that come from? I was like, no idea. She goes, where's it going? No idea. So I don't really have a lot of thought process when we write. I just sit down and write. A lot of it
Mm,
is dreams.
yeah.
Like I think I woke up once and I had no idea the ending. I think to no, book six. One of the books I had no ending, but I wasn't at the ending yet. Like I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And I woke up, I was like, I know the ending. And like it was like 3 a.m. and I like got up and wrote this whole
Oh,
thing.
I'm
And
familiar with that.
yeah, yeah. So I wrote the whole thing, and so a lot of things get written from dreams or just sitting
Yeah.
down and writing. And I don't always be like, I have to run out of ideas eventually, right? And then I'd be like, I have an idea. Like, I have this idea. Like I have this spinoff that I'm working on where they're gonna go into the Egyptian afterlife.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so there's all these trials they have to go through, but like it just came out of like nowhere. I'm like, oh, let's do this. Because I have Anubis in Redemption too. So Anubis is in there. But
Nice,
yeah.
nice, nice. That's what's up. That sounds very amazing.
Yeah.
Especially like you're so far ahead too, and you
Yeah.
in such a short amount of time. That to me, that's the wow right there. I mean, I've been at this since 2016. I first decided to, you know, create this story that I was playing with and turn it into a comic book. And I'm like I said, nowhere near. Like nowhere near even double
Yeah.
digits,
I
Now,
might have been a little obsessed, like a little.
sometimes that works, because you're
Yeah.
getting them, you're getting it all out. And now you said, you put out a lot of Kickstarters.
Every
How
month.
many everyone have they been successful for you?
Um,
Every month putting them out?
yeah, so like I would probably bring in a lot more if I didn't have so many, but the
Yeah.
story is so long that they like I have to do them fast.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm lucky enough the Western actually brings in a tiny bit of profit. I don't even care. I just want to break even because this is like,
Yeah.
expensive hobby as it is.
It sure
The
is.
Western brings in pretty good. Yeah, the Western, I think people really like the West. I think what happened was people love Redemption too. But what happened was I released so many so fast when I didn't have a
Yeah.
lot of followers. Like the first year I released, I think eight or seven, and then the hardcover.
Wow.
So that was just the first year. So I didn't really have that many followers. People were reading it and all that fun stuff. Um, but the Western, by the time the Western came out, I already had followers. So
Hmm.
like issue one came out, and I had a Marvel artist, Derek Chu, do the cover, and he
Oh
had a
wow.
huge following, and that brought on these people, and a lot of them stayed, and I got really lucky there. So people love the Western, and then they realize that there's so the Western is them in the Old West, same
Yeah.
characters, previous life.
Okay. All right.
Um, and it's very interactive. So it brings in a lot more. Like there's the Supernatural, and in
Yeah.
Supernatural they have a Supernatural journal. So you can get a journal. It's $14, and every Kickstarter you back, you get a cryptid page from that issue for your journal for free. So you just have
Oh
to buy the
wow.
journal once. So all of them have it. So like Redemption, the one coming now, 16 is a giant centipede. I actually literally made them. That's where I was in the middle of making it where I was like, oh, I have a meeting. Um, but so that's a giant centipede. With the Western, it's generally cryptids, Bigfoot, Wendigo, all
Yeah.
that stuff. But there's something else in the Western that the whole point of the Western is she has to collect these ingredients from cryptids, but she can't kill the cryptid first. It has to be alive when she gets the
Yeah.
ingredient. So she collects them in jars. There's 18 of them, and she keeps them in a box. Well, I sell that box with the logo on top and the jars. So every issue
Nice.
she collects a jar, you can collect the jar.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, and
That's
we
very
just
cool.
started that. So the first
Mhm.
one was the dragon plant heart, which was dried rose petals. But the second one was vampire blood. So I made that all by hand. I had to buy the preservatives and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Still a clotted because they're our own personal mutated vampires called clotters.
Yeah.
Their heart beats only once every 6 hours, so they have clotted blood, and they have to drink directly from humans. They can't do the blood bag, they can't do
Yeah.
animals, so they're a lot more vicious. So that gets shown. We had it in the Redemption, and now you get to see in the Origins. I think
Nice.
March is issue 15, so you get to see how they get created. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so it's very cool, and people love the the interaction that they get to
Oh
follow
yeah.
along
I
and all that
think
fun
the
stuff.
journal and the box thing, that's
Yeah.
that's a pretty dope idea. Like
Yeah,
it really is.
I think I have 60 or 65 journal readers. Um,
Nice.
and then some people just randomly buy pages. I'm just like, I don't know where you're putting these pages. People buy them. So that's good. I started out, some of them have like four each, and I was like, I can't keep doing four each because I make these myself. I have to
Yeah.
write them up, get the picture from my, I have the designs, and then I have to print, cut, and then hole punch them all. So like I'll be doing like I think the last one I did was 75
Oh
pages.
wow.
And they're all on this fancy journal page, which is not cheap. But it's super fun to do, and I really like
Yeah.
and people seem to really love it because they'll message me and be
Nice.
like, oh, I gotta get my journal page and all this stuff. And Western's big on merch, big
Yeah.
merch. Plushies,
Nice.
there's pins and stickers, and I don't know where everyone's putting these stickers, but they're buying tons of stickers.
Yeah, they put
I have
them
80
somewhere.
plus designs. So yeah, so you have
Mhm.
the Redemption, which is this very fast paced. It's very fast paced horror survival. They're being chased by Anubis. They're getting chased by zombies and giant salamanders and all these monsters. And then you have the Western that they're chasing down the
Yeah.
creatures. So while they're being chased by angels and demons. But the Western's more of it's got action, but it's more of an adventure, like it's
Yeah.
a little bit slower pace, but I don't ever have slow pace. So it's just a little bit slower pace. And then you have Redemption, which is like nonstop torture. Like these my poor characters have been tortured since day one. And we're working on the prequel, and my artist just sent me one of the pages, and they're happy. Like they just met at a dance, and they're in the woods, and she's like leaning against him. And I was like, oh shit, this is the last happy moment in the entire series
Oh wow.
ever. So I was just like, my poor characters, like they'll have little, moments here and there, but generally they have no idea what's coming for them, like right after this moment. So
Yeah.
my poor characters.
That's
Um,
what's up. That sounds
yeah,
very like that sounds very it's very different, especially
yeah,
with the, like you said, having the things to go along with it, the journal and the box, making it, it gives the reader something to like feel attached to the story with, and that's what's
yeah,
up. That's very
yeah,
different, you know. Now, as far as because you've only been doing this a few years, you said, right?
yeah.
About 3 years.
I just
How
3 years this past Halloween. Halloween's my anniversary.
how have you been going about marketing, and what
This is it.
platforms do you feel work the best for you compared to like, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and there's so many different platforms to market. Which do you feel has given you a lot more success as far as like engagement with your community?
So it used to be Twitter.
Hmm.
I had 5.3 followers on there, but whether it changed or because people let whatever, my messages didn't get out. Like I used to get like 600, interactions, then nothing. So
Yeah,
Facebook has been my main
main one.
source,
Hmm.
but I don't do as much anymore because now I have loyal readers. But podcasts like you, this is
Hmm.
how I got out. I used to
Okay.
do, I think in the first 2.5 years, I did 350 podcasts.
Jesus, you like to do big numbers
Big
on things,
numbers, right?
huh?
Yeah.
Like,
So I was
wow.
doing like 25, I was doing like 25 to 45 per live Kickstarter. So my husband
Wow.
hated it because I had to kick him out of here. I was like, go downstairs. I'm like, I'm making,
W-
making a Kickstarter. So he used to hate it. But now I do like, it's hard to find new ones. So when I saw you posted that you
Mhm.
had like a new, I was like, I have to get on this podcast. So yeah, and I'll have to tell Lori because Lori's the one. So when I first started this, I started on Twitter. I literally made a Twitter to start, because I
Yeah.
had no social media. I hated it. I never was on it. But I was told you have to be on it. So
Have to be.
yeah, and at first, I'm not gonna lie, I did not say I was a girl. Like I didn't know if, women in comics was a thing. I didn't know, especially horror, if guys would
Hmm.
read it. And
Hmm.
I have to say that out of all the guys I met, and there's a lot of them, out of all the guys I've met, I think I've only met like three jerks, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah. So out of 350, I met three jerks and one really boring guy. Like
Yeah.
really, really, really boring guy. I don't know how he has a podcast. Maybe it's me. But you see how we can interact and laugh and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. No matter what I said, no smile, no laugh. He would ask a question, I would talk and go, okay, and write it down. He was like, it was nothing. Super nice guy, but I'm like, oh my God, this is so boring. Um, and then I had like three condescending guys that were bad.
Yeah.
And one was on live stream where he was berating me on my Kickstarter because I had words. I had like two paragraphs and no picture yet. And he was going off on how you have to have a picture first and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm sorry, you can't read. It's a paragraph. Like, this is not, roll down. Like, what? He was doing this live on TV, live on YouTube. And when I was so happy because people left like these big comments on like, don't, you can't treat Carissa that way
Yeah.
and stuff. So, but I had nothing to, what was I going to say? I just started, you
Yeah.
know, I had no idea what I was doing. And I think at that point it had been like, I'm trying to think of a Kickstarter. It was like the fifth Kickstarter. Now I'm on my 23rd. So like
Yeah. So now
I think
who's laughing now?
yeah, that's right. So he
You
actually
know?
wound up apologizing. He's like, I'm so sorry. I was trying to help. I was like, yeah, but you help off screen. You don't yell
Yeah.
at me 20 minutes on screen with
Yeah.
other
Nah.
people in there. So it wasn't even like it was just me and him. There was like six of us. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not cool.
Good
That's not
times.
cool.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. I didn't
You
go
know?
back on that one in case you didn't guess.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't, especially creators, whether, male or female, man. A great story is a great story. I don't care who puts it out. It's
Yeah.
all me, it's about the content. I mean, I know some great male writers and artists, and I know some amazing
Yeah.
female talent. My daughter, both my children are great artists. I mean, one is more tailored to like, comic book and art, and while my youngest is more like, like she's a nail tech and she does amazing nails,
Nice.
and she's nasty with a pen, but her focus is she likes to do, like make nail art. She's nice with
Yeah.
that, and I try to, being a creator myself my entire life, I try to instill that in them, like, yo, don't think you just because you're a female that there's no room. There's plenty
Yeah.
of room for you. I would even take them to to some conventions, and especially where I knew there was, some, a bunch of female creators there. I'm like, look, like these are some of the top dogs, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they're women. Like, don't be discouraged. This is anybody's game. It don't matter what male or female, dope is dope, and that's what it comes down to, and
I agree.
like
I
like your
agree.
hustle right now, like,
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, you
And
kind of
I get
you
my
kind
Kickstarters
of
out
raising the bar.
I so I don't start a Kickstarter until I have some in hand. Usually the
Yeah,
main cover, because I need them anyway.
yeah,
So I usually get out 30 to 50 within 48 hours mailed,
yeah,
like of the end of the Kickstarter, not the 2 weeks after you get paid, but like the as soon as your payment goes through, I ship it. And then everyone else I order. So I had this last one, I was a little slower. It took me 3 days. And then I had already ordered it. So they're arriving in like a week. So I'm gonna ship those out on my birthday. But two things that I want to say before I forget. One, I love your hat because I was born in Long Island. So we're Yankees.
thank you.
And so that's really I really like that. But with the Kickstarter, first of all, if anyone wants it, the easiest way is to search Worthy Chaos. I am everywhere. Just search
Oh,
Worthy
I'm gonna
Chaos
put your links on
Kickstarter.
here and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. But like I release so many that everyone always yells at me, like, how do you get these out so fast?
Mhm.
Like, how do you get, but it's like, I'm gonna be honest, like when I'm packing them, there's this rush that people spent money on my, not that they not
Yeah,
only just spent it,
it's
but
a
wanted to
great
read it.
feeling.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
great
like the
feeling.
best feeling. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
It's such a
nothing
rush.
comparable because even if it's one issue, one comic book,
Yeah.
somebody took the time out of their day to look at your work and be like, you know what, I want that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend my hard earned, even if it's $5, $10, I'm gonna spend
Don't
my
care. Yeah.
hard earned $5, $10, and I'm gonna support this creator. And
Yeah.
I mean there's no other feeling than that. There isn't.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling,
I love
especially
it.
you're starting out. You you're nobody compared to the Marvels and DCs and all the big names. Like who am I? But
Right.
clearly I'm doing something right, and there's there's nothing else that feels that way. On any project.
Yeah.
It just making it and people just going for it and consuming it. That's great in itself.
Yeah, I got tricked once. Now, I didn't know anything, Comicsgate or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
But I got tricked on being on a show. Like I had no idea what it was, and I had no idea it was a debate show. Like no idea. So they told me, just so you know, the day before, like an hour before, it's a debate show, like whatever. And I was like, what are we debating? And it was, do women belong in comics? And I was like, how do I debate that? Like, what difference would it be, male or female? Like, I don't understand. So everyone was telling me, don't do the show, don't do the show. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, it's live. Not only is it
Yeah.
live, I promised, but two, if I back down, it looks bad on women. So I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta. So it was so funny because I had everyone in the comments because it was live. They were like, I think it was against the host, and the host was like, why should be women be in comics? And you see all these people because she has like 15 comics out, and like at that
Yeah.
point, it's like a year. They're like, and they were by the end, they're like, okay, okay, women belong in comics.
Yeah. Like
It's
I
such like,
don't
how do you
know.
even debate that? Like, what do you say?
Yeah. I don't
None of
know
it.
anyone who has that hustle like you do. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's
you're
crazy.
able to work quick and you're turning around projects quick, and that's hard for, being a
Thank God
independent
for credit
creator.
cards.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard, like it's not, the big companies, they got all this money backing them and they could pump out it's like 20 issues a week for the different IPs, but you're doing it independently. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's hold on, let me clap for you because that
it's really
that is
funny
not easy.
when I first started, I was kind of nervous because it's expensive. Each comic issue is like 3 grand. Like that's not including printing or shipping. So when I first started, my husband was like, "All right, go all out for 2 years." I was like, "Oh, don't say that. I can go all out. Like go out for 2 years, and then if you have to slow down." So I went all out for the 2 years, and then literally right before the third year anniversary, I went and I said, I'm starting another series. He's like, what? I was like, I'm going to start the Western. He's like, are you crazy? I was like, I have to write it. And literally, my first issue one, and that's the best it's ever done. So probably won't be ever high again. But issue one brought in $13,000. So, and I was like, see, I told you. So
Whoa.
yeah, it had 330 backers. And it was
Nice.
such a rush. And I generally have around 150 because, like I said, I release a lot of issues. But it was such a great campaign. It made me feel really good. It was, I mean, overall, I haven't gotten my money back, but they're starting to make profit or break
Yeah.
even.
Takes
So
time.
yeah, it does take time. And like I said, I have eight I haven't sold yet. I have
Exactly.
16 through 23.
So you
So
potentially got a couple of grand just waiting
yeah,
to be made,
yeah. So that's
so
it's
that's
waiting
good.
for me. Yeah, the Western's not as far as ahead, but
Hmm.
we're in the middle of issue 6, and
Okay.
5 goes live in March. Well, he's a traditional artist, and it's so funny because this artist is a little slower. Great detail, very good with the detail. He's a little slow, but the Western, Old West is kind of slower. And then you
Yeah.
have the digital artist that he hands draws everything, but digitally, and he's super fast in this super fast-paced world. So just the two of them fit like perfectly.
Nice.
And they both have their strengths and everything. And I'm very lucky. And I think it was even yesterday because I don't want to tell you this. I started another series.
Here we
Um,
go.
it was here's an exclusive because I haven't talked about this yet. It's a more chibi version than the other one, and it's in
Okay.
the eyes of the cryptids. And
Okay.
it happens for those, you don't have to read either series to read it. It's fun either way. But for the Redemption readers, it happens between issue 13 and 14. And for the Western readers, when you read the Western, you're going to see when you read, if you read this one, it's happening behind the scenes of everything that's happening in the Western.
Mm,
So, like, they're
okay.
going to hear things that happen in the Western, but they won't be seen because you didn't see them in the Western.
Yeah.
And then, like, a couple of issues, you'll see them like in the woods in the background or doing something or whatever. So they're kind of all interacting together. So you don't have to read the other series, but they're like
Hmm.
Easter eggs to like this and
Yeah.
that. And they
Okay.
do answer questions for redemption people because there's this dagger that's a soul dagger that if it cuts you, it actually takes your soul instead of just, killing you.
Yeah.
So it could kill anything. And it's kind of like the dagger or the what they call it, the hunting knife in Supernatural. It's kind of like
Hmm.
that.
Okay.
Um, so Anubis takes it to hide it in the Old West because
Hmm.
it's not used until later in the series. So that's where it goes. And at the end of issue 13 in the Redemption, he grabs it. So in the beginning of this one, he grabs it to go back into the Old West. But we
Nice.
have mythology, cryptids. So we have Anubis, we have the Hellhound, and we have Cerberus are the main characters in that. And my vampire chameleon bat, Chatty. So he's in there too.
Nice. Yeah,
Which,
yo, you're going in. You are
yeah, yeah,
going hard is an understatement. You're just
yeah.
going. Hey, that's amazing.
And
Especially, your Kickstarter campaigns are like, as you say, like they're hitting. So it's not like
yeah,
you're putting out all these issues, but nothing, like it's stagnant.
yeah.
Like you're putting something out, and that's great. That's great.
Most indie creators release, I think on average 2 to 4 a year. I
Yeah, if
release
that.
7 to 8.
Jesus.
Yeah. And yeah. So
Well,
my artist to keep my artist making a living, they work nonstop. So the
yeah,
faster they go, it doesn't matter what issue I'm on Kickstarter, they keep working.
yeah.
So if one goes super fast, like he used to make one issue a month, I'm kind of glad he slowed down there. I'm not, I miss my pages every day, but my wallet doesn't miss it as much as
Yeah.
I. And then the Western I have every day. So the Western only works for me, and he works nonstop. And the Redemption, he was doing several others, and now he kind of was like, I just want to work on yours. And I was like, I'm not going to say no to that. So I have those, and then I have another, the new artist. He's kind of just working for me and like one of my friends. So yeah, I have three ongoing artists. Like every time I'm like,
Nice.
I should slow down. I was like, oh, let's do
No,
this.
you can't
Yeah,
slow down. You can't.
no,
Now you
you slow
can't
down,
because
you die.
yeah, you've gotten everyone used to you pumping out, like you said, almost like
Oh,
eight a
you have
year.
I don't know who trained who. So every time my Kickstarter ends, I already have the next Kickstarter in pre-launch, right?
Yeah.
So at the very like within an hour I send out all the PDFs within an hour, and then I send the link for the next one. And they all sign up. So I get like generally 75 in like 24 hours, right? So one time before I could do this, Kickstarter was delayed for like
Uh-huh.
3 days.
Yeah.
Everyone panicked. Everyone was like, "Where's the link? Where's the link?" And I was like, "It's coming. I swear it's coming."
Uh-huh.
And it was like they were like panicking. And then when I sent it out, it was like 2 hours. It had like 100 people. And I was like, "You
Yeah.
relax. You know it's coming." So I always have right now. I think I have three in pre-launch. So I
Nice.
have while this is being aired, we're gonna have the live redemption issue 16. You can get all back orders, by the way, PDFs or printed or hardcovers. And then we also have in pre-launch issue 5 for the
Hmm.
Western, and that's gonna be in March. And also is Redemption Damnation, the prequel is in pre-launch. Um,
Nice.
so I always have at least two in pre-launch and usually one live. So it's like at all times. I try to do 3 to 4 weeks in between each Kickstarter so people can get some money back. If I thought everyone could afford it, I literally would release like every other week. Like I would just be like, just go for it. And we were adding up. Like I was telling my artist, I said, you have to do conviction because it's the same life period. So you have to do conviction. It's like 25 issues already made. He's like, that's fine. I was like, but there's also Resurrection, which is the
Yeah.
series after, which is 40. He's like, let's do it. So I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
let's see if we're both still alive when conviction's done.
Yeah.
Um,
Now,
But yeah.
being that you go the crowdfunding way and you've had so much success, do you go direct to market? Like, do you have a site and just where people can just straight order the book right from your website, or you just strictly stay crowdfunding?
I'm mostly crowdfunding. The only things I sell on my website are the merch, like pins and stuff.
Yeah.
But I sell the hardcovers. So you can
Hmm.
go and buy the
Yeah.
hardcover anytime you want. They're there. I think, we have the two on there. Western's about to be ordered. Um,
Mhm.
uh, book three is actually in hand for the redemption. That's going to be a Kickstarter in August, I think.
Okay.
Um, and the Western, I think, is June or July. So I have two hardcovers being released in
Hmm.
Kickstarters this year. Um, I don't do it's just too hard to do the singles. If people like singles, you have to get it on the Kickstarters because
Yeah.
I literally only make what they buy. Like I don't
Yeah.
make any extras, like whatever
Okay.
you want. And I don't the only variants I make are the big Western ones like
Okay.
Eric Chan, Derek Chu, and Ivan Tao. You can usually get those under the Kickstarters, but any of the other variants, if you like them, you got to get them because they're not.
Okay.
It's so expensive and so much storage to stay. And I don't, when I go to
Yeah.
cons, I do 15 to 16 cons a year. I think I'm doing 16 this year,
Mhm.
15 last year, 16 this year. I only bring the hardcovers because if I was
Okay.
to bring 16 issues of Redemption and
You'll be
six
traveling
issues
with
of the
so many
Western,
long boxes.
I tried, and in the
Hmm.
very beginning, it was so stressful to do single issues because people don't want to read one issue a
Yeah.
year, you know. So when I started bringing out the hardcovers, they loved it, and I still have one or two people being like, "Oh, are these all of them?" I was like, "There's one more book. I'll come back when it's one." I was like, "Really?" So generally, they buy all three that are out. But some people want the whole series. So I'm ready to get the book four so I could be like, this is the damn series. Just read it. And then the prequels, we have two prequels out coming out. Both written, 8 issues total. Nobody really knows about the creation one except for my top loyal followers that are just like, give me more info. Um, so we have the prequel, which is Damnation, and that takes place between the Western and Redemption. Like that's where it sets.
Yeah.
But the creation is the all answering beginning of the entire world is
Yeah.
creation.
Okay.
And I did not know this is how my writing works. I have no idea why certain things happen in the story until later when I'm writing something else. I was like, oh, that's why that happened. Like when I was writing the Western, I was like, oh, that's why that angel doesn't have the wings in Redemption. Like,
Yeah.
how did that happen? So I didn't actually know their origins until like literally last year. So
Mm.
I had no idea. I woke up one day from a dream and I was like, that's how it happened. That's cool. So then I had to go write that whole thing. So yeah, there's a whole world going on. Yeah.
Now
Fortunately,
for
I bonded to the characters, so that helped.
now for conventions, how long in where did you start like going to conventions? Like was it like within the first year or the second year? And how was that experience? Like, because
Yeah.
I've heard it horror, even myself. I think my first convention was a headache, you
Yeah.
know? So how was that for you?
Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest. Full disclosure, first year, hated it. I signed up for 10 before I even started because I had to
Oh.
do it ahead of time. And I hated it. I hated it. I'm an Italian New Yorker. So like I have the voice, but I
Yeah.
feel awkward calling them over. Like
Hmm.
I just didn't have that in me to do that. So when they came, I could talk for like
Yeah.
20 hours, but to call them over was harder. So my first year, hated it. Didn't want to do it again. Told my husband, nope, I'm done. Kickstarter only. That's it. And then the Western came out. And when the
Hmm.
Western came out, came merch because
Yeah.
people love merch. And
Hmm.
that just I have these sticker displays, I have handmade plushies. That brings them in. And then I could say, hey, I also have, if you like these cryptids, I have a story.
Yeah.
And that has helped a ton. So I hated them until I got merch. Like I have these
Okay.
big sticker displays. I have to be a vendor now, which is expensive as hell. But I
Yeah.
have like 3 sticker displays for like 80 stickers. I have like 40 different pins, metal pins, which is not cheap to make because each one,
Yo.
$100 molds for each
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. And then I have handmade plushies that my friend makes. And so there's a ton of them. But they come in to see like they see that. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you have stickers." I don't know
it's an
the
eye
obsession.
catcher.
I love all you sticker lovers. I don't get it. I appreciate it. I spend a ton of money on it, but they love the stickers. Like they love it. And I appreciate the hell out. Everyone's always like, what do they do with these stickers? I don't care. I don't care. They can do whatever they want. Stick them on your forehead. Don't care. My husband has them all over the car. So apparently they're outside rated. So yeah. So merch is I have been since day one, which is funny because I didn't even have the Western yet. Since day one, I've been called the Queen of Merch. So like that was like my name for the longest time. And I'd always get the same no, not stupid question. The same question. Why do you have so many merch? Because they used to make fun of me. Like, why
Yeah,
do you're an indie creator? Why do you have so much merch? And I
merch
said, because
sells.
I
Merch
well, yeah.
sells.
And I said also I wanted it and now it's
Yeah,
tax deductible.
yeah. Oh yeah,
So yeah,
merch
love
and
merch.
entertainment, especially like movies and comics. A lot
Yeah.
of the money comes from merch.
Yeah. Love it.
Merch.
The
Merchandise
plushies.
is a good thing. Plushies, stickers, like
Oh, they love it.
sometimes like just the merch alone, people will buy just the merch because
Yeah.
oh, it's a dope pin, or
Yep.
oh man, I love those stickers, or look at that plushie, like things like that, like sometimes it's in the merch.
Yeah.
It's in the merch.
Let me tell you. But it's so funny because I got made fun of. Other creators would be like, "Oh, you're not selling comic books, you're selling merch." And then like 6 months in, they're like, "So, what are your where do you get your merch?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Now
I
you want to
think
know where I get my
everyone
merch.
should do that.
Yeah.
I think merch is a great idea and it expands your IP because now it's more than just comic books. Because
Mhm.
comic books are going to attract comic book readers, but
Right.
sometimes you want to attract those that don't read comic books.
Yep.
How you going
Yep.
to get their attention? They'll come to your booth. Oh man, these are some great pins. I'm a pen collector. Oh
Yep.
man, wait, this is beautiful. Oh, there's a comic to it. Can I,
Yeah.
let me, that's how you get them,
Yep. It
because
happens a
and
lot.
that's how you expand your market. 100%. That's how you'll take someone who had no intentions of buying a comic or reading a comic, and now they're invested. They're
Yep.
100% invested, and it could be because of a pin, because of a
Yep.
sticker. That's just putting more options to sell your stuff. Me
Yeah.
personally, I love posters. I love prints. I have
Yeah.
more prints than I have wall space. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like I love prints. I love little things.
Mine's the metal trading cards. I love
Yes.
the metal trading cards. I have a whole book of all my metal trading cards. I
Nice.
love them. And now I got told I need to make them for for the cryptids. And I was like, okay, that's like 80. So don't yell at me. I spent like all last week making all of these cryptid trading cards. So, and
And
the
that's
nice thing is
amazing.
I order them after. So like if no one buys them, it's not a big deal. If they
Yeah.
buy, I could do it. So they sell really well. I sell them for like 10 bucks. But they're so easy to store, just
Yeah.
like the cards or whatever. So I used to collect cards back in the day. I had Pokemon. I didn't know how to play, but I had Pokemon. So yeah, I do love cards. I have 3D prints and I'm working on a ton of 3D prints. Like I don't know if you know who Larry, I don't want to say his last name, I'll say it wrong, but Tolson, his art is phenomenal. And he's not cheap,
hmm
but he's phenomenal.
hmm
So I did a 3D print of one of the angel one that he did. It looks, do you watch anime at all?
Yeah.
Do you ever watch anime? So, I don't. You probably don't know Amigami Sama, but she's a goddess, and I used to go to the anime cons, and they would have these gorgeous prints. Like these models. They were models. They weren't 3D prints back then. But I used
Yeah.
to love these gorgeous prints. So these are these delicate feathers, like things. Like I'm just like, how am I going to ship this? I don't even know yet. We'll figure it out. But so I'm excited about the 3D print. So yeah, there's a lot going
Mhm.
on. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now, well, one topic for this week's episode I really want to focus on is the business side of being a creator because,
Yeah.
like I've said time and time again, once you take your idea and now you're starting to put it out, you're now you're a business owner. Now you've got to wear multiple hats. You've got to start thinking like a business owner. Like how has doing that how like has it been difficult? How have you, how has that worked for you? Like having to now play both roles. Like I'm creating all of this, and now I've got to be on my business. I've got to ship. I've got to do this. I've got to, make sure all the money's intact. I'm not blowing more than I'm spending, and you know.
I don't worry about that part. But so the positive side is I've always run my own business. I'm
Okay.
self-employed. The only income, and it's scary as hell, but I've been doing it for like 10 years,
Okay.
and that has helped with this. But taxes is a pain in the ass.
Sure
I
is.
run three businesses now. I had to make the cryptid another business because the startup was so expensive with like, I think it was like 12,000 pins to start and like
Sheesh.
my tax. I think it was, so I started the cryptid last year in January, and for my taxes, I spent $38,000. So
Wow.
I brought, I didn't do too bad for my first year. I brought in about 19,000. So I didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
But my comics for the first time were in the black, so that was a proud moment.
Yeah.
Um, and because I've spent a lot of money,
I
so that
bet.
was in the black, so that was nice. I would say the hardest part is I had taxes, keeping track of all the things that I
Yeah.
buy, and horror story. I was doing my taxes, and I was like, huh. That doesn't seem like a lot for comics because I spent like 42,000 just in the comics. Not It was comics 42,000 and it was the cryptids 38,000. And the comics was low and I was like that seems not right. So apparently on my QuickBooks it didn't connect 6 months of credit cards for
Oh
all my
wow.
business. So that trying to do it manually, I was like, yeah, I didn't think I was that good. I wasn't that good, but I spent 42,000 and I made 44,000. So it made a little profit this year for the first time. And again, like I said, there's eight that need to be released. So I think I'm doing pretty good. So
Yeah, look, it seems like you're doing pretty great.
yeah,
That's what's up. Like I said, it's not, it's a hard industry and it's
yeah.
very costly.
Marketing's the hardest.
Oh,
Marketing's
of
the hardest.
course. Marketing is especially, if you're not familiar with social networking, so,
Yeah.
or just having to step out of your comfort zone because you
Yes,
you,
I
you
have to
kind of
start.
have to.
My goal, I have to start. I've been saying it for the last year, but my goal is in the last month, I'm gonna do TikTok. Like I don't want
Hmm.
to, I don't,
Hmm.
I don't want to,
Yeah.
but I think that the cryptids will do really well in there. I
Oh
filmed
yeah.
myself, which I'm a Gen Xer, so like I didn't want to film myself, making stuff. I had to film myself. I made the boxes,
Hmm.
making the blood jars for the vampire blood. So I filmed
Hmm.
all that, and I'm gonna put it on TikTok. I'm going to try to be more productive because I watch all that TikTok stuff and
I love TikTok. Like
it
me,
sells so well.
out of all my platforms,
Yeah.
I used to be on Facebook. I stopped for a few years because
Yeah.
Facebook is
Yeah.
not good for the
That's
brain.
cool. Yeah.
Oh my
Um,
God. But TikTok, once I got into using it more seriously,
yeah.
I mean, I've gotten over 1,000 followers. I got a nice engagement. Like, a lot of people engage with my stuff, and I love
Yeah.
TikTok. I don't mind being in front of a camera. I'm a natural character as
I've
it is.
noticed.
I love the attention. Like, hey, look at me. Look at what I'm doing. Like, take a look at it. You know what I'm saying? Look what I got. Like I don't mind doing that. I love it.
Yeah.
That's always been a thing for me. I don't have a problem. I
You'll
could
have to
stand in
add
front
me
of
to your
a crowd.
TikTok.
Oh yeah,
I have
absolutely.
I have 1,600 followers. I don't know who the hell they are, but I have 1,600 followers, mostly comic book people. But I
Hmm.
want to branch out to supernatural people, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
start adding stuff. I tried Instagram, doesn't like me. I don't like it. We didn't get along. I
Yeah,
know
I'm not
it's where
a
it's supposed to be. I
yeah.
I heard it's the place to be, but I couldn't find people to follow. It was very hard to search. I don't like the I didn't like it. I didn't
I
like
think
it.
it depends on your market. I would
Yeah,
say, from my experience,
yeah,
the two best platforms will Facebook number one,
yeah,
Facebook number one, and then TikTok,
yeah.
100%.
That's how
Because
I'm gonna
Facebook,
do it.
nothing is gonna right now, and it's been for years. Because when I started on Facebook with my
Right.
comics. nothing right now is beating Facebook. Facebook, you've got all the groups, all the communities. It's
Yeah.
already set.
I talk to a lot of my
TikTok would be,
followers.
yeah, TikTok would be second best, especially,
Yeah.
if you're going live, things like that. Putting up videos of you making your thing like the blood and the cryptids and all that.
Yeah.
TikTok is great for that. And I think those two together are like the two most important tools in your marketing arsenal. Instagram is
Right.
cool, but I feel like it depends on your industry.
Yeah, I think it's more
And
for artists. And I know I have art, but it just, I don't know. I feel like Facebook is really good for communicating with my followers. Like I
yeah,
had a follower yell at me. I don't do, I'm gonna tell her right now, I don't do updates during Kickstarter. I find them annoying when people do them.
yeah,
You know it's done. They're done. I have nothing to update you on. I don't do anything. There's nothing to tell you. When I'm done, I say, "Hey, we made it. This is what the next links are." This is then I update them 10 times more after the Kickstarter ends because I'm telling them when I get the proofs in, when the delivery is, when I'm supposed to arrive, when they arrive, when they're shipped
yeah.
out. But during it, I hate updates. I think they're annoying. It only goes to the people that are already backed. Why are you bothering the backers? So like that's pretty much like so I got yelled at and the guy's like, "Oh, you don't communicate with your readers or your followers. They're not going to you're not connected to them." I was like, "I talk to them
Yeah,
24/7 on Facebook
exactly.
all day long. I talk to hundreds of them. Like I love
Yeah,
my followers. I'm very
yeah.
lucky. I find that much more personal than saying, "Hey, update, we're a week in." I have 2 week long Kickstarters, which by the way, I have 2 weeks. Anyone wants to know, it's 2 weeks. I do 2 weeks. It's too
Nice.
stressful to do more, and I do so many that I wouldn't have any time in between. So
Yeah, exactly. That's what's up though. That's
yeah.
what's up
And we
now.
already talked for an hour, so now I feel bad because I rambled on for a whole damn hour.
No, you're giving a lot of great information. On that note, we are gonna come to an end shortly. But what I what I like to do is, this platform I want to use to also help, you know, indie new people coming into the game. So, and anyone looking for just somewhere to start or just anything. And so many different creators, so many different stories, help kind of build the foundation of the what to
I love
do's
this
and what
community.
not to do's. Like I'm very invested in my community, and anything I can
Yeah.
do to help. I love being a creator as long as I can remember, and do like this doesn't cost me nothing but time. And
Right.
if I could spend a few hours a day meeting great creators, having some great conversations, let's do it. So
Yeah.
what advice do you have for someone starting out or even just trying to navigate this landscape?
I have a couple of things because I screwed it up as much as possible the best way. Number one thing I'm going to say is don't start this for the money. You're not going to
Hmm.
make money. You might make
No.
money, but don't start it for the money. I wanted to see my comics made. That's why I did it. You've got to have the passion
Hmm.
and a lot of credit cards to do this. Um,
Yes.
Another thing I would say is make sure your story, you at least know the ending. Don't Game
Mhm.
of Thrones it. Know your ending. Like I've had the ending for years. Even the Western, I knew the ending
Mhm.
before I wrote it. So make sure you have an ending. Don't disappoint your fans. The other thing is, and I know this is the toughest one, you have to have an issue done before your Kickstarter. I started that because of trust. Some people
Yeah.
don't believe you're going to have it.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
didn't mean to keep doing it, but now it's just a trust thing, and I'm impatient, and they're impatient, and we all want it. So we're like instant gratification.
Mhm.
So make sure you have it done, at least the first one, have it done before your Kickstarter. But for the creator, this is the biggest tip I know because I wasted thousands on finding an artist. So originally what I did was I spent thousands on character designs, right? And you'd get a design back, you didn't like it, now you're screwed. You didn't get it.
Yeah, you out of money.
Or yeah, or I spent probably about 10 grand. And then you get one back and you're like, okay, let's do a page. And the page is awful. So literally, and for some reason, the page is cheaper than a character design. So what I did was I described my character and said, here's the script, do one page. It was cheaper, faster, and I can tell how it
Yeah.
looks. And that was
Mhm.
the number. And the second I learned that, I found my artist. Like
Yep.
literally the week I discovered that. So I would say don't waste it in character. I had four people in the I'm in an authors group and join groups, join lots of groups. But they're talking about how they want to get a character design. I was like, yeah, no, just get a cover. They're like,
Yeah.
because each character design's like $150 and you
Hmm.
have to do one each. Get a
Yeah.
cover with all the characters on it and you're good to go.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that would be my number one thing. And the other, oh, and a Facebook tip. I hear everyone complain. Nobody see my post. Nobody sees my post. They don't see your post because you don't post on theirs.
Yeah.
So go like theirs, go talk to them because then they get in your algorithm and you get in their algorithm. And then
Hmm.
when you have a Kickstarter, they all see it. And
Yeah.
that's how that goes. And you get to know them, you get to be personal with them. And another thing I do to connect to people is I ask questions. They
Yeah.
love it. Like which
Hmm.
which crypto do you like? Which cover do you like? They feel
Hmm.
involved
Yeah, because you
and they
now
feel
you're
like
engaging with them, and
they
to
love it.
them,
Like
yeah, that's a
I thought
big
I was
deal to some
annoying
people.
them. I literally thought I was annoying the hell out of them. And then like one day, like five people messaged me. We love that you ask us our opinion.
Yeah.
We love
Hmm.
to be included in this. We love seeing the finished product when they pick the sketch. And I was like, oh, I thought I was bombing the hell out of you. This is great.
Yeah, no,
So
because
yeah,
if they feel more involved, it feels
yeah,
more
they like it.
personal to them because,
Yeah.
it's one thing to comment on the creator, but when they're responding back, like,
Yeah.
how do you like it? Like, to me, it's a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
when I've
It is.
replied on some stuff and then getting a response back from the creator was like, oh, they responded back. I didn't think they would, and that's cool,
Yeah.
like that's great. I like it,
I
and
have I have this I have this super loyal fan who I love because they make me feel so important.
Mhm.
And he writes to me and he's like, he said it yesterday. He's like, I love that you write back. I was like, well, I can't not write back. I'm obsessed with writing back. But yeah, I love talking to you. And he goes, I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity. And I was like, you're not, but thanks. He's like, no, I feel like you have all the I love the story. I love the characters. I want
Mhm.
more. And he's the
Yeah.
one that wanted like all the other series out. And he's like, I feel like I'm connected to the story because I could talk to you about it and all this stuff. And he picks out covers and he added a character to it because he wanted to see a character. And I was like, I'll add it. You can name
And
it.
that's
I don't
great
care.
because now they feel more, and they feel a more personal
Yeah.
bond to you as the creator, and that's awesome. And I feel like that things like that is really the payout.
Yeah.
Like we all want to make money. That's obvious. Or at the very least break even.
Break
But
even.
sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes that loyalty, especially from a complete stranger who
Oh, yeah.
doesn't know you from a hole in the wall, is invested. Like, I
Yeah.
love what you're doing. I need more.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's an even bigger payout than, a couple of dollars on a comic book.
I think my first year was my personality only. Like because every time I think mostly it was the hosts that backed all my Kickstarters. So it was like each host, but everyone would be like, "You're so passionate. You're so passionate." And I was like, "I am obsessed. I'm obsessed." Um, but I think like people backed it because they either liked me or they thought there's no way in hell I really wrote this story. So like they got invested in it. So I think my first year of Kickstarter was just pity buys, and then they actually like, hey, this is actually pretty good.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah,
Whatever
they
works.
stuck
I ain't mad.
around. Yeah, yeah, whatever
Whatever
it takes,
works.
man. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
now, even if there was a few pity buys, now they're invested. Like, whoops, I put my foot in my mouth. This
yeah,
is amazing. Now let me go buy the 25 issues that she got because she keeps
yeah.
pumping them out like Marvel.
Well, one of my fans had contacted me last week. He goes, "Did redemption get pushed back?" And I was like, "No, it's the 16th." He's like, "I read it wrong." And I'm like, my Kickstarter ended 2 weeks ago. I was like, "You got to give some space between." I gave 3 weeks. He's like, "I know. I need to see what happens next." So yeah, which
That's
I
what's up.
love. It's such a rush. Like I said,
Oh
that's a
yeah,
rush.
it's a
Yeah.
rush, and you know what? Carissa, I want to thank you for joining us today. It was a great episode, and I, like I said, you have really raised the bar now because
I'm sorry.
I'm thinking, a couple of 4 or 5 issues a year No, you're banging them out like clockwork, and I'm like, I guess I need to go back to the drawing board here.
Yeah. Check them out,
But
man. Yeah, absolutely.
I love your hustle, and it's amazing, and I can't wait myself to start digging into your Worthy Chaos series. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
have links to everything on in the YouTube description. But like I said, once again, thank you for joining us today,
For
and
having me on.
and like and subscribe, and this will be out in a few days, and
Great.
much success and to what you got coming on too, man. I love
Thank
it.
you.
And
I
thank you once
appreciate
again. All right.
it. Thank you.
Have a good night.